Get myself together. Happy Friday. And if you are anything like me, then you know that this is the official start of your 30-minute lunch break. As always, these are my unpopular opinions on some very popular topics. So if you're okay with that, grab a seat and come talk with me, Donny D. Y'all, I missed y'all. Okay? So, a couple things. Number one, I need to get a haircut. As y'all can see, I need to get a haircut. All right. But my birthday's at the end of this month, so you better believe by the time that comes up, I'm going to be looking like a whole meal all over again. Period. Number two, I was a little bit under the weather, so I had to take a little break because, I wasn't sounding all good up and through here. So I couldn't come over here and embarrass myself. I'm already looking rough with the haircut. I'm going to work that out for y'all, okay? So, but I am back because we got to talk about some things, okay? We got to talk. So, with that being said, let me ask y'all something, okay? Have you ever been in a situation in which you not so much as felt like the outcast, but you had to accept someone else not being either in favor of you or somebody thinking highly of you? I don't know, maybe you came out to somebody and they were like, oh, I can't be associated with something like that. Or you came out to the next person and they were like, oh my God, thank you for trusting me enough to come to me and talk to me about this. I always accept who you are, who you've always been, things like that. Have you ever been in a situation like that? So, because like me personally, I'm gay, of course. I mean, pretty much everybody can know that already. Everybody knows that already. But when I first came out, I didn't know exactly what to expect. Like all through my high school years, I really didn't pay sexuality a mind or anything like that. And I don't know, it didn't dawn on me how much of an importance it was to, I don't know, I guess be who you are to everybody, not just, closed, like behind closed doors to some people, but be who you are in front of everybody. It never really dawned on me how important society made that until after I got out of high school and I started venturing off and, venturing into, should I say, that aspect of my life. But when I started in getting involved in this lifestyle or whatever the case may be, I was on dating apps. And I don't know, first of all, I will say this much. Being gay is a job in and out of itself, okay? Because you got to look a certain way. Because especially if you want to attract a certain kind of crowd, you got to look a certain way. You have to act a certain way. You have to project a certain... maybe if you're like feminine or too masculine, like that's a problem. You have to find a balance in that. And it's just so much that goes into being comfortable enough to just say, this is me and this is what you're going to get. So like I said, I was on dating apps and things like that, and I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. So in that aspect, I try to kind of like reach out to that crowd that I'm attracted to, and that depending on who I was, trying to reach out to, what depended on what kind of feedback I got from that person, like what kind of messages I received and, what kind of attention I got from them. Because let me tell you one thing, when it comes down to it, you may be somebody's cup of tea, and then the next thing you know, that person don't even like to walk down the same street as you. And I had to find that out through me putting out there who I am. And so of course, I got some that were just like, oh, he's tall, dark, and handsome. He has a good balance of masculine and feminine and yada, yada, yada. So that was like praiseworthy. Like people loved that about me. But then there was others that's just like, oh, he's too feminine or he's too masculine or, he has a switch when he walks and I'm just not attracted to that. We're both gay, but people are, are attracted to what they're attracted to. And I had to realize that through rejection or acceptance, either or is okay. Because again, it's all based on who you like, it's all based on what you want to be involved with. And a lot of people, a lot of people get the misconception that if a person doesn't like me, then it was something that I did wrong. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You could have done everything perfectly fine, like everything the right way, according to what they like. But if they're not attracted to you, they're just not attracted to you. And that's just how life goes. And a lot of people get upset about that. Like, there's a lot of people that get mad that you don't like them, or there's a lot of people that get upset when you find at least one thing that you're not willing to accept. Now, mind you, you probably were willing to accept it until you had got that kind of treatment from multiple people or whatever case may be, and then you're just like, I can't allow this anymore. And then that makes a difference in what you now choose to accept and what you choose to reject. And so I don't think a lot of people understand that when you go to bed at night and when you wake up in the morning, I don't care who is next to you, the only person that needs validation is yourself. Like, you only need to validate yourself. So I, at first, now, nobody likes to be rejected. I'm going to just put that out there. Nobody likes to be rejected. But I feel like that's a good thing that people get rejected, because then that either in turn makes you think about what you have to offer somebody, what you put out there. Maybe what you're putting out there doesn't need to be accepted because you probably need to work on that. And it's okay. I think people think rejection should be taken always as a negative thing, when in fact it's actually pretty positive to not always have everything about you be accepted. I can't stand a person who doesn't believe that there's no room to grow. Like, you have to be the same person you are today as the same person you was years ago. Like, I just had a conversation with my boyfriend yesterday, and I told him, I said, the person you're with now, the person you're in a relationship with now, is not the same person who I was even just last year. I was like, because if I was to treat you like I treated my exes in the past, trust me, you wouldn't want to be here. And that's just because I needed to grow. And that came from me going through rejection, even in my own relationships, that I realized that, okay, so maybe there is something about me that should not be accepted. I have to have the opportunity to grow. So now, like in my current relationship, I do a lot of things that are different from my past. And I like the fact that I had to experience rejection so that now I can appreciate the acceptance of what I have to offer. I just, and I had this conversation with my best friend earlier today. I just feel like people don't understand that you can't go through life just being stagnant. You can't do that. You can't. You can't. And it's not bad. It's not a bad thing at all. It's not. And it took me years to understand that lesson, but I'm so glad I do, because ooh, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was not the best partner at all when I first started, venturing into this lifestyle. I can tell you that right now. I was not the best person. I was not, and I really value who I've become now, because I know what I have to offer. And if the person I'm trying to give it to does not accept who I am, then I need to reject them, because then you start changing. Then you start changing who you are based on what everyone else didn't want to accept. No. Mm-mm. If you feel like morally you do what you're supposed to do when you go outside your door, and you do what you're supposed to do when someone comes in your front door, then by all means, what are you changing for? Why are you changing? You need to reject them so they learn the same lesson that you learned about what to and what not to accept. Like, I don't know. I think there's just a lot for people to learn. And again, through rejection comes growth. Through acceptance, meaning that your growth paid off. Okay? Remove negativity from your life. Don't accept that. Reject that. It don't matter who it comes from. If anybody is willing to stand in the way of your growth, let them go. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Again, changing who you are, especially when you know that you've come from one place and you're making it to the next place, there should be no reason why you ever accept someone stunning your growth. Never. And I feel like that's the problem in society nowadays. I just read articles. It's crazy how many articles I read nowadays about people not accepting the LGBT members of the LGBT community, LGBT plus community. My bad, y'all. Not accepting members of the community, and how because they can't accept it, they take their rejection to an all-time high, and unfortunately, that results in people losing their lives. And I'm just like, why? Why couldn't you go grow over there and I grow over here? Why did you need to stunt my growth all because of your negativity? I don't understand it. What I don't understand, and I probably said this back in a previous video of mine. Make sure I go check those out. But I don't understand why people hate other people because someone told them to hate that other person. Like, I don't get that. I don't get that at all. But they want me to see you want me to see you as an individual, but you following the crowd. I'm what? Now, don't get me wrong. This is not to just emphasize that of the LGBT, the LGBT plus community, but I just don't get why people are so afraid to be individuals now. Why? Whatever happened to that? Anyways, I don't know. Like I said, we got lots to talk about, but this video already long enough. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And I'm not gonna lie, because I had took that 2-week break, I almost forgot how to get on here and do my whole little spiel in the beginning and stuff like that. But I'm back. So that means you got to stay tuned for next week's episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Bring them for the next week's episode. Tell them to watch last week's and the weeks before that episode. And I'll talk to you guys next week.